For today's video, I didn't write a script. I didn't prepare a topic. I didn't even wash my hair. And it's because for once, I have something that is new and might be interesting to people. And I want views. Last time I talked about Wrath and his family, the Bradley family, which I'm very fond of. And I did want to say at least something in this video. So I was thinking about, every now and then I'll see the sentiment with a beloved childhood or foundational franchise like, I wish I could forget about this thing so that I can experience it all over again. And I was wondering if that applies to me with Full Metal Alchemist, and I think it doesn't. I would say with a lot of my foundational media, it doesn't, because I'm kind of stupid, and there's a lot of elements that go underappreciated or missed entirely by me, because while experiencing the thing for the first time, I know that it's good, but I've had a really great time in the past couple years as an adult, looking back on things that I loved and being like, wow, this is really good, or I can now parse out what is being discussed. I have greater knowledge. So regarding Full Metal Alchemist, I think the biggest turn is that now I really, really like the homunculi. Whereas before I saw them as just villains, now I can see that they have a lot of surprising depth to them, and that especially applies to Führer King Bradley himself. I originally viewed him as an old man. I genuinely don't think I had any complicated thoughts about him. I mean, I definitely digested the things that we were given, but I never sat down and thought about them anymore. And I'm still working on my reread of Full Metal, so I'm not gonna try to come in here with authority, but I did notice that compared to the other homunculi, he seems kind of tired. Part of it is because he's old, but he has a very interesting background, you know? I view Lust and Pride as the ultimate homunculi. I say that Lust is number one because she has no emotional baggage and she seems very aware of everything. She's just like a stone cold. Whereas Pride has that same level of sadistic villaininess, but he's also so arrogant that it definitely holds him back. I would put Envy in that same club too, but Envy is maybe more of a wreck than Pride is. Pride is a wreck but doesn't realize it, but Envy's just, ooh, man. So yeah, compared to what I would consider the peak of homunculousness, Wrath is there and he's doing his job, but there are times where he just seems tired. And when you compare his background to the others, like the other three I just discussed were whole cloth, manufactured by father. They were never ever humans. They have no association with humans, really. And then you have Wrath, who was born as a human. And when you see his background, he doesn't know what his name was. He has no past. He doesn't know who his parents are. He doesn't even know if who he is now is who he was before. He was a lab experiment. And he also interacts with humans the most out of all of them, on their level. And while Wrath definitely has that I am better than humans thing that all of them have, I find myself pitying him a lot. I mean, in a sense, I pity all of them because they're pathetic, which is what I like about them. But Wrath especially, it's like he had no control over what brought him here, and he's still as guilty as the others. But it's just very interesting, that depth that he has. And that is not something I ruminated on as a 14-year-old who was obsessed with Edward Elric. So yeah, I like Wrath a lot. What originally made me look at him more is that he was hanging out with Pride. Now I like him for him. He's definitely my third favorite homunculus, and him and Pride come together for that Bradley family goodness, which is kind of tragic, but kind of interesting. So that is what has led me to buy 2 figures of this old man. So yeah, let's get into the meat of this. The Full Metal Alchemist pop-up parade line began first with Ed and Al. I like Al a lot. Ed, I wish he wasn't so grotesquely ripped. I wish they had put a shirt on him or his coat. I may have bought him then. Afterwards, they had Roy and Riza, of course. And surprisingly, they also added Wrath/Fear King Bradley to the lineup, which made me very happy. I'm hoping that they continue and they make more homunculi. My dream is all 7 and Father. I know that I'm really pushing it on that dream. I'm expecting them to at least make Greed, like Greedling. I would prefer original Greed, but come on. Lust, please. I'm begging you. As soon as this figure went up for pre-order, I immediately got it because I'm living the homunculus dream. And what made it even better is that it is wearing a different outfit than the Megahouse figure, which I also pre-ordered immediately. And the Pop-Up Parade figure line is one of those lines that popped up well, I was not collecting, and then I came back to the hobby and they're like, we're on number 100. Yeah, the whole thing with Pop-Up Parade is that they make low-priced, affordable figures of a wide variety of characters, and Wrath is definitely a character who, it's a miracle he got a scale, and I'm very happy that they made the Pop-Up Parade of him. And what I wanted to do for this video, instead of just looking at the Pop-Up Parade, is to compare it to the Megahouse figure. So I already reviewed the Megahouse figure. I was very happy with it. And I've seen people say the Megahouse figure is not very exciting, like, oh, I'll just get the Pop-Up Parade. And after looking at the two quickly, I think that this one definitely has merit. So yeah, let's do our comparison. Putting the two of them side by side, the most notable thing would be the size. The Megahouse figure is about 1/8 scale, and the Pop-Up Parade is about 1/10 scale. So they look different. If you wanted to display them side by side, you'd have to acknowledge that one of them is way smaller. I think the likeness is really, really good. I've seen some Pop-Up Parades where they look a little gummy, a little goopy, but I think Bradley being an old man actually works in his favor. I had this problem when I was taking art classes, is that I can't draw like young, sexy people. But it's actually fun to draw old men because you don't have to worry so much about them looking hot. Sorry to the gilfs out there. So yeah, he's got a craggly face, but I think it looks good. There's nothing to me that feels off about his face. Then, of course, they're wearing different outfits. The Megahouse figure is wearing his outfit from the Promised Day when he took out that tank, which is peak Bradley content. Then the Pop-Up Parade is wearing his outfit from when he slayed Greed, which was also, these are like his two best outfits. I'm glad that they went with these. In the Pop-Up Parade, he is noticeably more ripped. That doesn't bother me at all. He looks really ripped in that outfit. Like, no, we're doing good here. And these two figures wearing different outfits, I think, does well for their comparison, because I can't say like, oh, this one did the white shirt better. They're different looks. The only noticeable thing there would be that his pants are way bluer on the Pop-Up Parade, which is not a problem. The Megahouse figure has lighter colors in general. Then coming to the base, the Pop-Up Parade figures are infamous for their generic hexagonal single-colored bases. But for Bradley, I think the base they gave him works really well. For starters, he's got a wide stance, so his feet are taking up most of the base. And his base is black, which just ties in very well. I arguably like it better than the Megahouse one, which has that weird symbol that confuses me, where it's like an eye and an Ouroboros. I talked about that in the other review. I don't like it very much. So yeah, I like the base on the Pop-Up Parade. He does take up a lot of space because of how his swords are angled, but that just depends on how you want to display him, whether or not it's a problem. The Megahouse one also takes up a lot of space. I mean, go Bradley.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Seeing the two of them with the swords makes me want to bring up a tangent of mine, which is, why don't any of the homunculi have guns? I could understand, like, that they're maybe behind on the times. I'm assuming that the reason none of them have guns is because they're behind on the times. I mean, they're pretty arrogant, so it's like, we have powers, we don't need guns, but come on. Imagine if Bradley had a gun, if Lust had a gun, Envy used a gun to kill Hughes. I know they know what guns are. Like, what if Pride had a gun? Come on. Why don't any of them use guns? What if one of them had a power that was a gun? Actually, Father made a gun in I want to know what.
Full Metal Alchemist.
I think quality-wise, the biggest difference between the two is the shading. And this is to be expected. The Megahouse figure costs significantly more than the Pop-Up Parade and is a scale figure. Whereas the Pop-Up Parade is just like, it's a good-looking cheap figure. But the shading is definitely what pushes the Megahouse figure into the next realm. When you look at his arms, his bulging muscles, you can really see the difference. And his rippling pecs, his abdominal area will look very nice if it was shaded. And I hate that I just noticed this now, but the Megahouse figure appears to be packing more than the Pop-Up Parade. I definitely noticed that on the Megahouse figure, but now seeing it next to the Pop-Up Parade, it's like that was a conscious decision that they made when sculpting that figure. So yeah, if you are in a toss-up on which figure to get, I think it's up to what your budget is and what your commitment to Führer King Bradley is. Quality-wise, the Megahouse is definitely the definitive Bradley figure. It's bigger, it's shaded, it's got a nice box, but the Pop-Up Parade is very nice as well. It costs much less. It looks different enough from the Megahouse figure that you're not comparing them as like one is better than the other. I am very happy that I have both. I'm completely fine having both, and I like to display my prize type figures outside of the case, so the two of them being different sizes, different quality, like it's not going to be a problem at all. The Pop-Up Parade, I'm happy with getting dusty and dirty and whatever happens to it outside of my case. On another note, customizing Pop-Up Parades has become very popular lately, especially the bases, since they appear to be widely hated by the community. And seeing how much this one needs shading, I may actually take this on as a pet project and see if I can add some shading and see what I can do about the base. That would be a separate video, but I want to throw it out there that he can be customized and I may be able to get him to the level of the Megahouse figure. So there we go. That's a quick side-by-side review / comparison of the figures. I wanted to get this one out quickly so it's not quite as sprucey as my Megahouse one was, which I also got out quickly. Sorry for dropping the ball. After seeing this one, I would really like to see more homunculi. That is my biggest dream. At least Lust. Lust is my second favorite, but I think she's the best. So I would really like to see her. Please.